Nicholas Epley, Mindwise, Why We Misunderstand What Others Think, Believe, Feel, and Want. In A Mindwise, Nicholas Epley dives deep into the complex world of human thought processes and our innate misconceptions regarding ourselves and others. Through a plethora of studies and examples, he uncovers our inaccurate self-images, our misinterpretation of others' emotions, and the challenges of decoding individual opinions. The book delves into how stereotypes, egocentric thinking, and our own emotional signals can mislead us, pointing out the limitations of our ability to access the thoughts of others, even those closest to us.
The Unreliable Narrator. The human mind is complex and mysterious, making it impossible for us to fully understand our own thoughts and behaviors. Our thought processes occur unconsciously, beyond our control, leading us to construct stories to make sense of our behavior. The mind functions by making associations, meaning that two thoughts or behaviors that were previously connected can trigger one another. Thus, we may come up with an inaccurate self-image because our brain associates certain concepts automatically. In the same way, we try to read the minds of others by observing their external behavior and coming up with a suitable explanation. The human mind is an unreliable narrator, and we should be cautious about assuming we fully understand ourselves or others. Mind reading is a myth. We are terrible at figuring out what others think of us, regardless of our level of intimacy with them. A study shows that receiving additional information about someone does not increase our ability to accurately read their mind. How we see homeless people in cars. The brain's response to homeless people versus cars affects how we view and treat them. The medial prefrontal cortex, MPFC, is activated when we think of others, but it's less engaged when thinking about people we cannot relate to, such as the homeless. On the other hand, people often attribute human qualities to cars, affecting how they view and value them. In a study, car owners who attributed human qualities to their vehicles were less likely to sell them. Our perception of an object's humanness affects how we relate to it. Conversely, our view of the homeless as less human may lead to discrimination. Seeing things from others' perspective. Our unique perspectives can make it hard to understand others. A single situation can have many interpretations, leading to conflicting opinions. To better understand others, we need to step back and try to see situations from their perspective. Our egocentric tendencies make it hard to do so, but remembering that others may not remember events as vividly as we do can help. The power and deception of stereotypes. Have you ever categorized someone without knowing them? This is because we use stereotypes to find differences in others rather than similarities. Although stereotypes can help us explain behavior, they deceive us into finding differences where none exist. Stereotypes are usually misguided, but they hold incredible power, often becoming self-fulfilling. One study showed that people who held positive stereotypes on aging live an average of 7.5 years longer than those who maintain negative stereotypes. So, how do we change this? The next parts of the book will shed some light on this. Listen to me. Emotions are mainly expressed through voice. Participants in a study found that people who only listened to others' sad or happy experiences accurately rated their emotions. Body language can be misleading, and we may struggle to convey our emotions through it. Expressing emotions openly or concealing them doesn't make any noticeable difference in conveying them to others. We assume that our emotions are apparent to others, but this isn't always true. Not realizing this can lead to misunderstandings, particularly in romantic relationships. Therefore, it is essential to listen to one another to understand each other's emotions correctly. Getting to know what people really want. Do you struggle with finding the perfect gift for your loved ones? Do you often try to get into their heads to figure out what they would like, only to end up disappointed? According to this book, trying to imagine someone else's perspective to determine their needs is ineffective. The best approach is to ask them directly. By understanding them completely, asking the right questions, and listening intently, you can ensure that you get the true perspective and give them the perfect gift. So next time you're struggling to decide what to give someone, remember to ask instead of guessing.
As we strive to understand ourselves and others better, Mindwise reveals the inevitable flaws in our perspectives and interpretations. In our quest for insight, we often resort to stereotypes, rely on body language, and succumb to our egocentric inclinations. But despite these challenges, there is hope for improved comprehension. By listening attentively to others, asking for their opinions, and developing better self-awareness, we can overcome some of the limitations that stand in the way of understanding the complex thoughts, beliefs, and emotions of ourselves and the people around us.